Okore bari shugal good isi the top where ya ben le le door jem ene door jinu ene wagin jake we ko tungen kayan gele waga ker gagen ni ale wi bu jala lo open kene ni ale be inu chora na doli alo ke ni ale je be wi bu nyole we ko tungen we ko dai ene gidi mi balo bari lorken awi bi jen ka pe nom ben dola bedeli tuma toni aba gala le ran dia kuma toni bi jala le ke dia tuma nyang na ja la ngai tuma rap la ngai tuma ingrid tuma nyang ne en dengar kan ma ja ke en gele badin jale we ka dor jeng ni dor jinu wa gen jale alo ke ni ale je bari wala to Oke, tuh dia we butuh lagi tuh, kalau dengar kan mau jangan, dengar apa ini, dengar apa ini, ada kayak ini balik balik, mulai yang nyara, maksudnya nyara, berpacu yang nyara, udah yang ini we, udah panggil, dengar kan mau jangan, lagi lagi mau pun, mau jangan, kan, itu orangnya, udah balik, balik lagi, kalau you,
yes, sudah.
Share the video, ladies and gentlemen. Share the video. I will be brief with this particular program. So share the video. Thank you.
that you walk home, let it go down, like you man the alley, John Bag and Bob, no and Lord. They need money, they need no begin, don't get we're up in the garden, in the garden, it's on the about my room in night for the guy, we are my room in night for the guy, my own country is night for the day. I'm going to
No, did you my book? It's a wonderful song, ladies and gentlemen. It's a new song. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Jing Padang Media studio. This is a wonderful opportunity to come tonight and share with you this particular program. And this program is mainly, it is actually meant to rebuttal the discussion show that was hosted by Jonkor Mayol and Deng Didayok and Edward Ashik. And overall, this is a response to the social media activists on behalf of the PCCA, which is the People Coalition for Civil Action, which is an organized civil society organization, plus some individuals that have the intention to actually push for a popular uprising in South Sudan. This is a very critical moment, ladies and gentlemen, and I would like you to bear with me and share the video. If you would want to join me in the studio, the link is out there. But I just want to come here and share some few remarks with you, and it is up to each and every individual who is listening and those who will go and watch it later on to make that determination based on what I'm going to communicate in this particular program. So, ladies and gentlemen, we all believe that it is always the duty of each and every citizen of any nation to take upon themselves the obligation and responsibility to protect, safeguard, and uphold the constitution of a nation. So in this case, it is actually a collective responsibility of South Sudanese citizens to hold their government accountable for whatever failure or whatever success. That is something I respect. I respect the democratic constitutional right of our citizens of South Sudan. I understand the frustration and the disappointment in the direction in which our country is going. It is something that we are all aware. However, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why we keep questioning you to give this national unity government the opportunity to implement the peace agreement is because we want to make sure this country have to be given the opportunity to exercise the peace agreement and to also stabilize the country so that we can give this national unity government the opportunity to implement the revitalized peace agreement. So that means it is also our obligation as a citizen of this country to make sure we also safeguard and defend the revitalized peace agreement that was signed by the respective peace partners on behalf of all of us as South Sudanese. So we should also respect this as a law. But given the current situation in which we are in South Sudan, we are aware that there are armed resistant groups, armed resistant movement, military wing, rebel groups that are awaiting to launch a military offensive against the unity government that is formed in Juba, and which is now undergoing the process of implementing the peace agreement. However, there are military wings that are against this peace agreement. They are actually being perceived to be coordinating and facilitating military offensive simultaneously with this planned, organized civil protest, which is actually dubbed as a peaceful protest. But in our understanding, given the coordination, the facilitation going on between the armed resistance group and this civil group who pretend to be like they have nothing to do with the rebel awaiting or standing by to strike anytime, is something that we do not want to take into accountability. And that is why we have to resist. And it is why we take this responsibility upon ourselves to educate our general public through the media that this is very dangerous because this PCCA is actually coordinating these activities with the armed group. So we should be urging our citizens that these alleged peaceful protests organized by the People Coalition for Civil Action is not only peaceful, but it is something that is coordinated with the armed resistance group who are actually waiting to launch military strike simultaneously whenever these citizens took to the street. So that's why we have to use the media platform to inform our general public that this is very, very, very risky for your own life. If you care about your own life, please do not even attempt to be part of that alleged peaceful protest being proposed by the PCCA. We also perceive the PCCA as a political surrogate, a political activist who are actually acting on behalf of the armed resistance group, who are the rebel against this peace agreement. And this is what the government of South Sudan must actually communicate to the entire population of South Sudan. And at this point, we are in a critical, the country is in a critical state whereby there is no stable peace. The rebels are lurking around to launch any military offensive at any given time. Therefore, it is not peaceful for anyone that organizes a political protest of this kind to continue to advocate for a popular uprising, whereby the armed group are standing by to strike anytime in the 3 regions of South Sudan. So that is why it is very dangerous, and it is the responsibility of the media as well to educate you as to why most of us are actually opposed to these alleged peaceful protests being organized by the political surrogate, the political activists of this armed group. So we know they are coordinating. You have seen the recent activities of these 2 generals, General Johnson Wulong and General Garwidwal. They are coordinating to launch military offensive. One, this citizen in Greater Upper Nile region as a whole take to the street. So that's why I'm using this media platform to inform you as a citizen of Greater Upper Nile region in particular, that it is very dangerous for you to take to the street, particularly in the areas of the Reng, in the area of Foloch, in the area of Malakal, in the area of Balit, in the area of Akoga, in the area of Fiji, in the area of Fanjak, in the area of Jonglei State, in Akobo, in Nathar, and in part of the Unity State as well, in Ruwing, all these areas. You do not need to participate in this because this is very dangerous for you. The rebels are lurking around, they are around you, and these rebels in the bush are actually coordinating with these leaders of the so-called PCCA. So they want you as a citizen to take to the street. When you take to the street, that's when the military offensive of the rebel will be launched. That means your areas will be attacked to confuse the situation and then blame everything on the government after that. The same thing is likely to happen in Equatoria as well. If you are in Kafoita, if you are in Torit, if you are in Fageri, if you are in Numali, if you are in Yei, if you are in Mundri, if you are in Juba, if you are anywhere in the town of the Equatorian region, you should also be aware that the rebels that are inside, that are now operating inside the Equatorian region are also coordinating with the same these activists, political surrogate on behalf of the PCCA. They are actually coordinating with them, and they are actually linking the same operation in coordination with the rebel commanders on the ground. They are actually waiting to strike at any given time. So this is also dangerous to the civil population of Equatorian region. So this is an advice to you based on the intelligence, which is actually not public, but given whatever is being leaked, we have to share it with you. This is a part of this classified information that I like to share with you, that it is also dangerous in Equatorian region for any civilian to come to the street and protest, calling for the removal of the government. That is not safe for you as a civilian of Equatoria. Coming to the Bargadal as a region as well, you should understand there are rebel groups that are also operating in the region of the Bargadal as a whole. Given the rebel of General Fort Malongawan, and in Equatoria we have the rebel of Thomas Chirilo, rebel of Thomas Chirilo in Equatoria, rebel of Fort Malongawan in Bargadal region, and in Afanal as a region we have the rebel of Garwidwal, rebel of Maboradol, rebel of Johnson Oloy, and many other rebel wing that we do not know exist. So all of them have actually formed a military and a political alliance, and their objective is to make sure they topple this national unity government. So in other way, whatever activities they are coordinating so far, it is unconstitutional, it is unlawful. Therefore, we must protect this peace agreement, because the intention of this civil organization and the army resistance group or army resistance wing that are waiting to launch military offensive, their intention is very clear. That is to remove this national unity government. So that means their intention is to sabotage the peace agreement, the revitalized peace agreement. And that is unlawful. It is unconstitutional for any citizen to take to the street and protest in a country where there are rebels threatening the very same government. Because we all understand the objective of this civil organization and the armed military wing is the same objective, and that is to remove the government. And it is unconstitutional, it is unlawful, and this is why it is not safe for your life as innocent civilian of South Sudan. All in all, you should understand, these people who are actually advocating for this popular uprising are not going to be on the ground to actually experience this in person on the street with you. So do not put your own life at risk. So I advise you to restrain yourself to be part of that violent uprising. It is totally unacceptable. We cannot encourage democratic, peaceful protests when there is a national security threat being posed by the armed resistance group. And this is why it is very dangerous for you. Thank you. Yeah, welcome, Gernyang. I think you have just listened to my briefing. I guess all of you can hear me properly. And I think my message is straightforward. And I don't want to go around disputing whatever is being put out there by these organizers of the PPCA. These are legitimate concerns of our people. I understand that. But given the fact that South Sudan is not a stable country, this is not the right time to call for any protests whatsoever. This is not good at all, because this political organization is actually tainted. It's tainted, given the fact that they do coordinate and facilitate the activities with the army resistance group. That is why it is unconstitutional. At the same time, it is unlawful, given the fact that their intention is to topple the national unity government implementing the revitalized peace agreement. I believe the international community and the regional community who are actually granted to the revitalized peace agreement will not agree with this call for the popular uprising, because the intention of the popular uprising is to make sure they overthrow the government that is actually implementing a peace agreement that is recognized internationally and regionally. So how do you expect, you cannot confuse the situation with a situation that is already being undergoing the process of implementation. It doesn't make any sense. So I don't know how the organizers, these political surrogate and activists of the army resistance group, I don't know how they make a moral judgment pertaining to the controversial action they are calling for. So they are just simply endangering the life of our people, and this is not acceptable. So we are here to advise the citizens of South Sudan, please avoid the street. Avoid the street, because these organizers themselves are not going to risk their life. They will not be on the street with you when you actually join that protest. So this is totally unacceptable and it shouldn't be entertained. So welcome, Gernyang. I will give you the platform so that you can have a say in what I just communicated. Thank you. Anyone who would want to join, please feel free. I have the link out there, and if you don't have the link, I can send it to you. The platform is available, irrespective of your state. So Gernyang in Bella Train, could well go on talking in Chile.
Yeah, thank you, Billy Luke, for inviting me. Billy Luke, as you know, we all grow up under the movement since we were young children. And the same people that calling today for change are the same people. There is no people come from somewhere out from Southern Sudan. I hear all about you talking about the rebel, and those are in peace agreement with the government, and those is still in the bush, like those of Thomas Chirilo and Garwedwal and Wuling Tabo, so, and Malong. All these people are SPLA. All of them are SPLA. If you know, long time ago when those people go to the north, they still getting called Tabur al-Khamis. Either you like it or not, they still get called Tabur al-Khamis. And the citizen that used to contribute food for the SPLA movement to survive and to fight the war are the same people calling now today for the change. The problem here is not a demonstration, it's the system itself. The system of government need to be changed. The risk is here for PCC. What the name? The PCCA. Yeah, the risk is we have uneducated soldiers who do not know the right of citizen and even their own right. The people who are going to be protesting are the same, the wife of soldier, the brother of soldier who are not getting paid, the brother of police force who are not getting paid, the brother of doctor who are not getting paid. I know it's very risky, but if it is the wise government that is a government for a people, they can let them talk. They can let them do demonstration, and nobody can do anything, and then let them work on a very organized way, in a civil way, not in a violent way where they're going to break somebody's shop or they're going to loot somebody's property. And also the government can make a deal with them too. What type of government do they want? In Khartoum, there was a demonstration like this, and there was a rebel. Did the rebel of Darfur overtake the Khartoum? or then Jubal Nuba or Blue Nile. No, not. I don't think there is nobody can go and overrun, even if these people are protesting. Is a different thing from those rebels there. There are people who are guarding the rebel not to enter. But if there is a civil unrest or civil protest, the government need to form a team to negotiate with them. What type of system? Because these people are not carrying the army. They are just ordinary people walking with their bare hand. The problem here, who is going to instruct them to shoot those civilians who are going to protest? That is the problem that is going to come. And it's going to frame the government. They are criminal. It's not those people who are protesting. If the government shot them, that is where the problem is coming. But to be paranoid because the rebels are there, they're going to launch an attack, they're going to do that. There is an army out there to deal with those rebels outside. And then inside the police force, is the police, if they give their note, because when people are making protest, they go to the police and they make the report, we are not happy of this, and we are going on the street, we're going to talk. Because we are not happy of this, they're going to read them out. And then the government can listen to them. If these people right, what they are saying is truth. If it is true, you have to listen to them. You have to listen to them. Because when the civilian go out, that is the last option for somebody in leadership. If a civil society are not happy with you, then you make the surrounding water too hot. Remember when John Garang say, the people around are the water. We are like a fish in the river. If we make the water too hot, we're not going to survive. This issue need to be handled in a professional way, in a good way, and we need to care for our own people, not to be outraged by little things. I can see. I am worried too. Because our people in government, they do not think pretty well. The majority of them are short-minded. They think military. They want to do everything by blood. But that blood is when the foreign are invading our people, like the settler in the north, were our main problem, because if we talk, if we complain, they will not listen. And then the last option was taking army. And then if they are our own citizen, why do we have to shoot them? And why the country are at war is because of this, because of bad system.
Yeah, thank you, Gernyang. I would like to respond to your insight or input. First of all, I would like to say thank you for joining the studio. That is a wonderful rebuttal to what I just said. However, I would actually agree with you slightly. The way you facilitate this protest, Comrade Gernyang, you assume it as if it is just a normal protest that is going to be conducted, like the protest that was recently conducted in Paloj, was actually not a threat. That was a real peaceful protest, because it is actually focusing on that particular grievances, and at the same time, it is something that was assessed by the intelligence that this is not a threat to the peace and stability. But this particular protest here, Gernyang, and that's where you get it wrong, this particular protest does not necessarily support the peace and stability. But instead, this is actually calling for the removal of the entire government. So if you call for the entire government to be removed, while they are already implementing the revitalized peace agreement witnessed by the international community and the regional grantors, it doesn't make any sense. So in this case, this is not just a normal protest. And at the same time, what complicated is the fact that these organizers, these political surrogate and activists on behalf of the armed resistance group, they are actually coordinating with the rebel. So the fact that this is actually being coordinated with the rebel doesn't resonate with the constitution and the law of the country. Therefore, we consider this unconstitutional, it is unlawful. And in addition to that, you also compare this protest to that of Khartoum. Or you also say that why those civilians of Sudan took to the street and they were not joined by the rebel. Matter of fact, the civilian of Shumal Sudan, they were not actually coordinating with the rebel group. They were not coordinating with them. They were not coordinating with them. But given the intelligence of the government of South Sudan, it is very clear that this so-called PCCA is actually coordinating with the armed military group. You have seen the group of Tomatrilo in Equatoria will launch a military offensive simultaneously. One this civilian took to the street. The rebel group of Fall Malonga in Greater Bargada region will launch a military offensive. In Greater Apana region as a whole, Joral Maburdol, Joral Ulun, and Joral Garujwa, they will also do the same. So this is why it is very, very dangerous to the national security. It is unacceptable because these rebel groups are actually resisting and they are against the peace agreement. That is where the security threat is. And we don't want to put the life of our innocent people in an armed way. That's why we have to use the media to urge them to restrain themselves from being part of this planned violent protest. It is not peaceful. It is going to be violent. Given the fact that it's even calling for the removal of the government that is recognized by the international and regional government and is already implementing the peace agreement. So what I am requesting here is for our citizens to be patient, but we understand the frustration and the disappointment, but let us give this national unity government a time to implement the revitalized peace agreement. And when the general election comes, that is when we will exercise our democratic right. And if this peace fails to implement according to the deadline, that is when this idea of the so-called popular uprising may be supported, but not at this time when the peace agreement is actually being implemented. The peace partners are doing a wonderful job, and that is why we have to support them, support the peace and stability. Thank you. Welcome, Guy Bull.
What's up, Geren Yang? I thought Geren Yang you went to Juba, and how are you, Billy Luke?
I'm doing good.
All right,
Guy Bull, welcome to the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Billy Luke and Geren Yang. So thank you, Billy. For sure, our country issue is getting worse. I think the step by all the people on the ground in South Sudan to topple the regime through peaceful protests sometimes is okay, but it's not the right tool to remove a dictator, because we can never remove a dictator through peaceful protests. Popular uprising through peaceful protests, it will not work at all. And then it's a good step, because when you make a change, you cannot make a change in 100%, completely 100%, and you just go one step at a time. Billy Luke, I believe you and Geren Yang, we live in the West here. We are enjoying, and we are enjoying American system. I think this is a democracy way. Why not we cannot change our country so that we can talk freely in Juba, in any city? That is what our people are demanding back home. They want to talk freely. They want to elect their representative, both in federal level and state level, even county within state. That is the popular uprising by our people, because they are suffering under the same system, no change. Everything is being controlled by elite on the top. And most South Sudanese population, they are living in the UNMISS camp, inside the country and outside South Sudan. You knew it, you've been there. I think you feel shocked sometimes and you have a tear on your eyes. Our people are living in very, very, very bad situation. They have an assumption that after independence, or warrior who tend to be a politician right now, they can change South Sudan. They can bring something we fought for almost 60 years. This promise is not there. So I think popular uprising is not bad, it's good. We in the West, we should support that, unless you are supporting the system. Because we have a lot of people in diaspora, they are benefiting from that system. That's why they're supporting the system. That's the problem. This country, it belongs to all South Sudanese. We need to be okay, all of us equally. You have to divide national resource equally between federal and state. This is the meaning of South Sudan. So in our country, in my own opinion, we have no government. There is no government in anywhere in South Sudan. When we talk about government, we have no constitution. That is the fundamental issue about the country, constitution, not the president, because a good constitution will produce a good leadership. A bad leadership can never produce a good constitution. So let us define the meaning of South Sudan. The meaning of South Sudan is not Salva Kiir and Riek Machar or those who are destroying the country. The meaning of South Sudan is constitution. Everybody must be equal under the constitution. That's what we are missing. So we in the West, instead of supporting our people for what they are demanding for, we just supporting, some people are supporting Salva Kiir system. It's not right. So let us think deep. Compare your life here in the West and look at our people, how they live their life. South Sudan, it demands democracy, purely democracy, direct democracy. Every area must be elected. President must be elected. MP, national must be elected. State MP, county commissioner, they must be elected, not to be appointed. So you talk about give peace a chance. There's no peace. This is the corruption deal. There's no peace. Look about 600 and almost 600 MP.
Okay. If there's no peace, if there's no peace,
15 million. What are we talking about here?
I understand, Guyball. I totally agree with you. I agree with Gernyang about the demand of our people. The respected demand as laid out in this document being circulated on the social media by the PCCA activists and surrogate. It is very clear these are the demand of our people. I don't dispute that. But where we disagree here is the condition which our country is in. Our country is facing army resistance group who are actually coordinating with the very same surrogate and activists on social media to encourage the toppling of the government. Toppling of the government in any sovereign state is considered unconstitutional. It is considered unconstitutional, and that means it is violent. So what you are saying here, Guyball, you are actually pushing for violence. But I know you, those of Edward Ashik, those of John Kormayol, those of Dengi Dayok, and those of Gernyang, those of anyone that is sympathetic with this call for popular rising, you will not be on the ground. You are putting others at risk, of which you will not actually be able to experience in person. So that's why we also have to urge our people and educate them. You are doing something unconstitutional. It is unlawful. But what we are saying is we understand your frustration. Let us get this peace agreement, which is now supported by the international and regional government, a chance to be implemented. And then when the election comes, we will remove the leaders if you don't like them. That is where I stand.
Okay, Bill,
so let us actually hush at this in a peaceful way. Well, and we can actually transition into, if you are going to launch this popular uprising, you remove this leadership, it is going to be chaotic, and nobody is going to take over the leadership once you are successful. So you are going to confuse the situation, sabotage the peace agreement, and then, okay, if you succeed to take over the government, who will take over the government? Nobody. This is going to be like what happened in Libya, that everybody is going to have their own militia, and then there will be a power struggle. So people are going to suffer even more than it is at the moment. So thank you. I hope I understand. I answered you.
Yeah. Abel, look at here. So unconstitutional. Well, in fact, in South Sudan, we have no constitution. What constitution are we talking about? We have no constitution.
Well, there is a constitution. There is a transitional constitution.
We don't have anything. What I knew so far is the transitional constitution of South Sudan. That's what I knew. This is outdated.
Well,
so let me make my point. Let me make my point. I think we want to change our people's life. The suffering of South Sudanese is not good. The image we are at right now is not good. So you and Nagot, you just came back from Juba. You should be the people who just pushing for the change and joining the popular uprising. Who care? If we are making a change,
absolutely, we are part of the
if
people
we are making a change to a violent or peaceful solution, it means that we don't need the entire system, not only a few on the top. The entire system from Salva-Kiir to the lower level to the county commissioner, all of them, they're under one system. That has to go. That's the demand of our people. So if it becomes a war, that's how we make change. It happened in Sudan, and now in Ethiopia, in Arab Spring, and now it become a real change. So why not? Why you fear?
It's not gonna work.
So we need a change, because if we are demanding a change, it doesn't mean that 100% free of violence. People must lose their life. That's why we are fighting with South Sudanese, and it becomes we did not get it through peaceful solution. People lost their life. We have a lot of good warriors. They're gone. If we are demanding for change, it doesn't mean that it's free from violence. People must be killed. People must be put in jail. That's how we make change. Please, we live in the West. We have to support our civil population. What they are demanding for. This is what we support.
Thank you, Gaipol.
All right, thank you.
That input. I can give a good time to say something about it, and then we will go around in circle.
Thank you.
So welcome.
Thank you, Bill Luke, Gerinyang, Gaibol. Gaibol, you are what army general, and that actually makes it very difficult because you support tribe. When you support tribe, how do you expect to have an uprising? You cannot compare South Sudan with the old Sudan. Old Sudan, they were united. They were not tribe, even though they are tribe, but they were united based on the principle that they want to remove General Bashir. Arab Spring, you cannot compare with South Sudan. In South Sudan, we are fighting against ourselves. So uprising is not going to help. So whoever is calling for uprising, it is impossible to happen because we are a bunch of tribes. We are dividing ourselves. We are sectarian. We are clanness. We are tribe. That's simple as that. How do I want Salva Kiir to be in power? Young Machia, the answer is no. I want these guys to leave, because I need to be in power too. Me, I want to enjoy. I want to eat. I want to be a leader. I want to speak to the international community like you want to do. Because the language Salva Kiir and Young Machia are using, it does not satisfy me. The way they speak, I don't enjoy it. So I enjoy Jongarang. When Jongarang speak, I enjoy Jongarang. So I want Salva Kiir Young Machia to go, but not to go through violence. They need to go through a peaceful election. Peaceful election means they have signed an agreement of September 12, 2018. So when that agreement expires, they will be asked to go to the election. If they refuse, then that's where you and I and Bill Luke and Jerinyang here, we have to unite and get rid of them, whether they like it or not. Because
absolutely, that's the point right there.
So Sudan is not a kingdom. But if we want to push them away now through uprising, while they have an agreement that they have signed, they are not going to go, and we have violated their agreement that they have signed. So it doesn't make sense. You guys, those who are making noise here, call a civil collusion of civil action, you will be persecuted. I'm telling you, man. Let me move my like this.
Come on,
you'll be dealt with.
This is chief prosecutor.
Yes. I'm going to prosecute them. I don't play no game unless they have to comply with the rule, with the agreement that was signed. But look, these people of brothers here who are calling for uprising, you need to understand. September 12, 2018 was an African peace. It was an Islamic free. I believe free. My fi kawaje wala fi Arab. It was an African peace. It was signed in Khartoum with Bashir and Museveni as whatever they were given the chance by IGAD to be the outlook, to make sure that this peace be implemented. So why these people are making noise here? If you destroy this peace, you are handling South Sudan to the hand of the traitor. That means that you are supporting imperialists, colonizer. So you, dear guy, my young Korbutanda, ma either a check or whoever is calling for uprising, Wallah lazim. Wallah lazim. We're not going to play game with you. We will deal with you whether you like it or not.
South Sudan
okay? So
is not North Sudan, my friend. Anyway,
you need
I will
to
win my
support the
turn,
peace.
and
You
just
need
keep going.
you will come, guy ball. You will come. You need to support Salam. Riang Machar now. People are criticizing Riang Machar. Riang Machar is supposed to give him credit. The guy is brave. So Riang Machar is a brave guy. He took risks. Mizet Gadwal refused to come. Wuling the Wuling Gadwal is supposed to come to Juba if they are brave. Let them be brave like Riang Machar. Riang Machar is in Juba. Is a brave man. I respect Riang Machar. Riang Machar, you are brave.
I don't want to cut you, what, but I just want to reinforce your point.
Yeah.
The intention of Gaibol here, why he's actually supporting this violent protest, is because he's actually, he's actually banking on Gerald Garwidwal and Gerald Uling and Gerald Maburdal, because this thing is actually being coordinated. What I have to be honest with you, according to the intelligence,
those are cowards.
This is being coordinated. So they want people to go on the street, and then they have to launch the military offensive simultaneously.
No, this is an assumption. This is an assumption.
You will come. Look, these guys are cowards, because if they were brave, Riang Machar, I will give Riang Machar credit 100%. And Zul Fahil and the Rajul Gowi, the Rajul in the Guwa, in the Gubu, the brave. Riang Gadwal Wuling, they are cowards. If they are brave, when you are rebel, you need to sign a peace. You need to come and challenge it. Whether you're going to die or not, it doesn't matter, because you are the man with a sword. Riang Machar, he signed peace. Ujinubin is a guy from the Mukfi. If you have the Mukfi, you need to support Salam Lefrege. Salva Kiir will not be there forever. Salva Kiir will go. Me, I want Salva Kiir to go, because I don't get anything. No incentive. Bill look at no incentive. So you guy ball, you are supporting these guys because you want to reinstall yourself. You want to install yourself back to the government because you fail. Because Riang Machar is succeeding. So Riang Machar myself, we will support them until the peace expires. I don't get anything from this peace. In fact, I want Salva Kiir out, Riang Machar.
Absolutely. Because we don't get paid. But there's the fact that we are on the payroll. We're not. We don't get any pay.
You guys,
I will yield my point back to Guy Ball to respond.
Thank you.
Let me respond, or you want to give it to Gernyang? So let me respond to Agot, my brother Agot Wine. Agot first.
Gerald Guy Ball, it would be wise for you to turn on your video, and the same thing.
Sorry, I do not. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. Sorry, next time. And right now, I'm not ready. Let me respond to my brother Agot. Before you give the chance to Gernyang, Agot, let me respond to you. You talk about the White Army. I support the White Army. Yes, I support the White Army because of the event of 2013 is the reason why. Because the event of 2013 targeted my tribe, single out the Nuer for the South Sudanese issue, and that's why we become target. That's why. We come in a big number to change the system. That's why the White Army came up with organize themselves to remove the system, and that's why I support the White Army, because it's not because something we start. It's something Salva Kiir start on us, and you knew it. So this is the reality. You knew it, Agot. So to the point, Agot and Billy. You guys you are not supporting the uprising. This is a good thing for us, not only for those who are, demanding for the change in South Sudan. It belongs to all of us. including those who are supporting Salva Kiir, you, Abbott, and Billy, look, you talk about Dr. Machar, you did a good thing, and Garidwal and Uleng are not doing the right things. Look, who is coward here? The coward is a person who refused a peace deal, something you sign on the table. Salva Kiir is a coward. Why he fear for security arrangement before the IO leadership can go to Juba? He refused. He needs Riek Machar as SPLMIO to go to Juba without security arrangement. And you sign something on the table with your political opponent, and the second round, you refuse that to happen. You don't want the security to be arranged. Who's coward here? There is a phobia here. Salva Kiir have a deep fear, and that's why he refused security arrangement. Riek Machar say, yes, I want to go. Ridwell and Olin say, no. What about the round table? Security arrangement has to be number one priority before we go to Juba. And that's the fundamental issue. Look, you knew it. Something you sign with your political opponent, you have to sign this. This thing needs to be compassed before you step your foot on the plane to go to Juba. We are not fearing. General Garidwell and Oloin, they are not fearing. They believe that we have to follow and respect what we have been signing for. And that's the reason why they are not going to Juba. If Salva Kiir allows secure arrangement, you will see Oloin and Garidwell, they will go to Juba in the next weeks or two. And that's the reality. Billy Luke and Agot, you knew it. So let's jump to this area. Let's jump to current topic. I think for us to have a better South Sudan, I will repeat myself. We cannot just talk the talk. We have to talk sen. All right? So when the people of South Sudan demand for popular uprising, a peaceful and a non-violent protest, you should support this, because the non-violent, they want to protest in any corner in the city, Juba, maybe a different, not only Juba, other town across the country. They are demanding because they are the government, they are the people who populate the country. Salva Kiir is employees. Those like all of them, they are employees. If the people who employ them demand the change, you have to follow what they say, because the country doesn't belong to those who are destroying it. The country is belong to those who are demanding for the change. We are the young generation. We all supposed to supporting those people, because these are our generation. They demanding for our own for all people change, not for their own demand. Peaceful protest. Billy, look, you like peaceful protest. Agod, you like peaceful protest. It's not about gun. It's all about protest. Salva Kiir must step down. The entire system, we don't need it. We need a new system. What is wrong with that? This is what we're looking for. That's a democracy.
Well, we consider that a violation of the peace agreement, let alone the fact that it is unconstitutional, it is unlawful.
Well,
again, in
look,
the states.
In their own eyes, they are not seeing there's not peace in their own eye. There is no peace. That's why they're demanding for the change. This
when you promote this
violence, let me make my point.
When you promote this violent protest, you are putting your own people in a risk.
Billy, this peace is not helping.
How sensible is that?
This peace is not helping those people who are demanding for the change. This peace belongs to the certain people on the top, Riek Salva Kiir, and those who are supporting peace, people like you. You like it, but they don't need that peace because there's nothing in it. All right? This is the corruption peace. This is the position peace, only for the worker of the SPLM. And that's why people, they pay no attention on that peace agreement. So I think I'm supporting South Sudanese who are on the ground calling for popular uprising. If it is a peaceful protest, let us support that. We need a change. Salva Kiir area will never change this country. We need a new system. That's what our people are calling for. I think let us not confuse. If we live in the West,
understand that. Thank you.
We have to support what our people demanding for. So please, Agod, stop that kind of attitude. South Sudan is not North Sudan. We need to step into a new system so that we should live our life in our country. We need a constitution. There is no constitution in South Sudan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gernyang, you can jump in, put your last comment so that we can close the program, because I will be going to work. So this was meant for only 1 hour session. Thank you. Gernyang, are you there or you mute?
Maybe
What Gernyang is mute or something? Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, it is your turn. I give you the microphone, so the podium is yours.
You
Say
know
your last comment. Yeah.
You know those people
Why
that
do you
are
think, okay, let me put you on track again. Why do you think this protest is peaceful when in fact it is actually being coordinated, supported by the White Army of General Gaibol and other armed groups? That is why we consider this a threat to the national security of South Sudan. And this is also violating the peace agreement, which is now undergoing practical implementation by the unity government. So if you are pushing these people to go to the street, you are actually putting them in an armed way. But I know you, Gernyang, Gaibol, John Kormayol, Edward Ashik, and everybody that is supporting this protest, you will not be on the ground. Why are you putting others at risk? You're calling for the government through this violent protest.
Please don't link me with these people. Even they don't call me in their show either.
Well, you are being sympathetic. You are being sympathetic.
No, I am sympathetic to people, to the right of people, because
even
this call.
Agwad and I, we are also being sympathetic because we understand whatever the demand is. We all understand this is what is not being done to our people. That is a fact. But what we are saying is this is not the right time to call for that popular uprising. Let us implement the fees. Let us give these partners a chance to implement this fees agreement. That's the only way forward. Otherwise, you are going to make it even worse because you are calling for the removal of the government. And that is the very same government already implementing the fees agreement. That is going to be a big confusion. And it is going to be more consequential than you may think. Thank you.
You know, Billy, look, when somebody is calling for the removal of government, it doesn't mean the government is going to fall tomorrow or today. It's not like that. There is a process for that. There is a process, there is a law, and that call, I think, is helping the government to work out something. And it reinforces the peace you are talking. The unity government you guys are talking, it can reinforce.
Yeah, but only if it is peaceful. But the fact that they are saying that he must step down, Riek must step down, I don't know. This is not going to end. This is going to be a continuous campaign until the government steps down. So this is violent.
You know what we need to think like grown-up people. When the civilian talking, government must pull down. It doesn't mean it's going to pull down right away. So there is going to be a process, and these people are not armed. If they were armed, yeah, they're going to be taken seriously. But if they are just talking verbally, what is the verbally took people? 2013, they were talking for the reform. And then when that reform failed, how many people died? More than you know. People died. And people were talking peaceful in a peaceful manner way where they can do something by pen and talking. That is a good civilized way. But if people are going to go out taking a weapon, that is a different language. But these people, it doesn't matter if they are pro-rebel, they are what, or they are what, they are a citizen of Southern Sudanese. And they are Sudanese in general. Either they are from north, west, east, they are Sudanese. If they are calling for the change, then the government need to create the team to sit down with them. What type of change do they want? And how long they want that change? And the government going to come with their own version, the version, and then compare it. And then they have to compromise between there. Government has to compromise, and then these people have to compromise and meet in the middle there. That is a peaceful approach that people can be in peace. But the government itself, they are the violent. They are encouraging the violent, because when they are going out and intimidating everybody and threatening everybody, has a rebel when you are truth, you want to say something that can help even the government employed, can be helped by this. Now they are not getting paid. There is no school. There is no delivery service. Everything is suck. It's suck. And they calling themselves they are the government. When I see them, they are just a bunch of like a warlord or like a drug cartel. That is how they are intimidating people. So this protest is good for the government. It's good for the government because these people are not armed and they are not going to go out fighting everybody. They just a babble talking. And also, what the government could do this, it can deploy the police to protect the people property on the sidewalk. And then they can let them congregate in a place and then display their thing. And then they can talk to them what type of proposal of government you guys want. If they talk to each other, it's not going to be tomorrow and today or a week or a month government going to be removed. It may take a year or 2 years. And then they can plan for the next. Because Kirmaya already violated so many points. 2013, he make war, and together with Riek Machar, and 2015, it's supposed to have election. Then they failed to do it, and 2021, this year, they're supposed to be an election, and then they just go extend it. And now they extended to 2023, and this is the red line. Everybody going to have their own state. It is not going to be a Dinka or defending Kirmaya. So because this 2021 is a yellow state. It's a yellow state. People are dying in large number now because of lack of food, lack of hospital, medicine, no education, no road, no good water. Everything is like a jungle. Even before we in 1983 was better than the today. So this PCC, yeah, I know. I want to finish this because this is a very critical. We need to put some point out there. If the government go out and shoot people, automatically that government is going to be called a criminal government, and they're going to be Interpol. Even people within the government are not going to be happy because these people are not armed. So there is a best way. These people can be handled in a gentle way. Even you can talk to them. So the other army who are our side can be dealt by regular army, not to infiltrate the demonstration. So the police can make sure these are ordinary civilians, don't have a gun and just walking with the bare hand. So, and that is how the civil arrest happen, because everybody is not happy. People are distressed. People are stressed out. Even they don't care if somebody is going to die or not die. I saw them. The situation is not good there.
Okay, thank you, Yang. Thank you. I think we are running out of time. And
okay, thank you. Bye.
Yeah. So thank you, Comrade Gernyang, for the wonderful insight that you just contribute. But I just want to rebuttal to you. I understand what you are trying to communicate here. You look at it from the perspective of a peaceful protest. But I told you already that these organizers of the PPCA, People Coalition for Civil Action, they are actually coordinating these popular uprising protests in coordination and facilitation with the army resistance group in Greater Upper Nile region, in Barkada region, and in Equatorial region. That is why it is considered a national security threat. If these civilians are actually coordinating with the armed groups, that is why it is considered dangerous. In addition to that, we consider this as a violation of the revitalized peace agreement. We cannot sabotage and renege it from this peace agreement. That is also unconstitutional. It is unlawful. And we have to make sure we give this national unity government a chance to implement the revitalized peace agreement. That's where we stand. Otherwise, you also fail to answer that you are actually going to be a peaceful protesters, but you're not. These protests, they are calling for the absolute removal of this government through their civil disturbance. And this is very dangerous. If you want to topple the very same government, you are saying that you want to remove the government. So there's no difference between these peaceful protesters that you are alleging with that of the armed group. And given the fact that they are coordinating with the armed group is also more dangerous, because the armed group that are against this peace agreement are waiting to launch a military offensive at any given time, simultaneously. So they want to see people go on the street and they will start their military operation. That's where the security threat is. And we are advising our people to abstain from this popular uprising protest being proposed. You are going to do it at your own risk, but we don't want to see our people being harmed. Otherwise, if this were a peaceful protest, we shouldn't be talking about it. But we see a potential threat. Thank you very much, and welcome, Comrade Isaac Kwon and Banyabiel Nchalor. The floor will be yours to contribute something. Thank you.
Isaac. Yeah, well,
yeah,
I'm gonna
make it brief.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it quick. Okay. First of all, let me tell you guys something. Okay, we calling RCM youth movement. We calling for this soon 2019. We went to the street. We had problem with the president. Okay, we have our people that die. We have our people in prison today. PCCA, whatever call them, they came from our group. Okay, everything they do is what we say happening. That's what according what we say. That's what they're going through it. Okay. Today I got a threat from the government. I got the video right here. If anybody want to listen to it, I can play it right now. If you guys want it to listen to it, I got threat because I am speaking all the time about revolution, uprising. When we're talking about this, Yamana, we're not coming against the government. It's the government is not listening when we're talking. This is what is tricking people off. Okay, the government, TV Joshua, he went to him, he spoke to him before he died. He went to Southern Sudan. He told him 7 times, I tried to come to you. You don't want to listen. But this time, it's time for me to come. That's why I came, because God said this is the right time. Why he say that? Because we already, RCM was established. RCM is called for this job. We're not going to stop, my people. Okay. The only thing we ask for the president, pay attention. We're not violent. We're not silent. We're not going to be violent. We're not going to be silent. Anybody in this revolution is going with violence is not part of us. Is not part of us. The problem is 1955 until today, everybody picking up an arm. Guess what? We never have peace. And we're not going to deal with anybody picking up a gun and trying to protect us. We don't need that. We don't need that. We need some uprising with no violence, and don't be silenced. Speak up. The only thing we were looking for is the president to speak up. I don't care any up or what do you call it, any group or any, if you call me Nas, or if you call Ayo, if you call whatever in Southern Sudan, they're not doing nothing for anybody. They're not doing anything for nobody. We don't trust anybody. I'd rather have Kir in the office, but Kir is not paying attention to us. This is the problem that's bringing people outside. Okay, this is the problem. Another thing, 2013 May, my bad, July, on a Sunday, TV Joshua spoke about this. Uprising, it will happen because the young people that finish college, they don't have no school, they don't have no place to work, they don't have no a voice in the government, they don't have anything, my people. They don't have anything. And this is not just for South Sudan. This will happen in the whole Africa. Okay, whole Africa will stand up. But us as Sudanese, Southern Sudanese, let me just put it to you guys straight up. I told you guys this before. It will come to pass. It will come to pass, and it's happening right now. Okay? Do not forget this. Okay, tomorrow you will speak this to your kids, and this is. Let me make it short right now. Let me cut it off. Okay, you guys. Okay, you guys. Our government. Right, our government. We don't have a problem with anybody in the government. They don't get paid like us. They're struggling like us. We don't have a problem with them. Anybody pick up a gun to any soldier, this is not part of us. This is straight. We talk. This is not part of us because we want our citizens to be in a better life. We came to the United States for a reason. We know United States here, the youth, we know what the youth do in the United States, how they respect them, how they put them in the places. Right? But we don't have that back home. This is the problem. The knowledge that we got here, we have to put it on our home. We're not going to change that. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take us. This uprising, I don't have a hand on it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Okay? RCM, we don't have a hand on it. But all this group, they came off RCM. They came off from us. They was working with us. They didn't even tell us. We're not going to tell. If you have uprising to Kir, we're not going to tell them. Just like we did it May 16. We don't tell them. We show up. Right? We show up. This is the best way to do it. But now this is even a problem for our citizens. Right? So for me, Jamana, I'm going to tell you guys, let's stick together. Let's work this together. If the president come out, right? If the president come out and he say what you guys want, hey, the youth, I'm speaking for the youth right now. I'm not speaking for everybody else. I'm speaking for the youth. The youth need a new system. Volume system. System. We need to be in everywhere in the government to work together as young people. We need that. We're tired of sitting home. We cannot raise our kids. There's no food. Every time we go to the store, milk is expensive. Meat is expensive. Food is expensive. More food big expensive. What is this? We're going through. We're sick and tired of this shit, man. We're sick and tired of it. Our president, he don't have a problem with it. I'd rather have him there and the rest gotta go. We have 40 of them since 2013. 40 of them ICC need them. So all of them, they need to come in the front. They need to go to deal with that. Let us take care of our citizens. Let us take care of our country. My people, sorry for my energy. And I love you guys. That's the reason I'm speaking this for the last 5 years. And now in the time to let this pass by a little behind us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Comrade De Coin. You are a wonderful man. You are a patriotic nationalist to be. And we always appreciate your insight when you come live and you make your point articulately without any blink of an eye. We understand. And you are actually speaking from the democratic perspective, which is a good thing. However, where we slightly disagree is the fact that our country is not stable and we do not have a conducive environment whereby we can be able to exercise this. That is why we are urging our people. This particular protest is actually being blemished, is being tarnished by the fact that these organizers of the PCCA, they are actually coordinating with the armed resistance group, and that is very dangerous to the lives of our people. That's where we disagree. But if this were nothing to do with the armed groups and those who are actually calling for the removal of the government, when in fact they are actually implementing the peace agreement, it is a violation of the peace agreement. It is actually against the constitution itself, because that's not the healthy way to remove the government. So that's why we are begging our people. We understand your frustration. Let's put for this peace agreement, and we will get there.
This people, PPCA, this thing happened in Khartoum. This has happened when what's his name? He got removed from the office. Omar Bashir. Okay, this is the game. Play that smart. And I'm speaking to you because I love you and I love each one of you here. I'm speaking this straight up, open. Okay, I don't have time for game. Okay, this is the same game. This is the same game Omar Bashir was doing it. When Uprising started in Khartoum, guess what he did? He couldn't stop it. He had to set another group inside the movement. That's why Khartoum until today they can't have the peace, because when they took that man out, guess what? They turn around, give it to the government, back to the government. The same. So yeah, Jamana.
All right, thank you. I understand that.
This PCC, they don't have nothing coming from the mind. Everything RCM said, this is what is happening. Everything I spoke to you guys for 5 years, this is what is happening right now. And I believe in my God. The only thing I want from you guys before I leave, 3 days fasting and prayer. This is how we're going to take our country in the best way. 3 days fasting and a prayer before the 30th. We do that, my people, we're going to have a better country. Nobody.
Good luck. Good luck, Brother Isaac. Thank you. Your success will also be our success. But the problem is we are fearing about the life of our innocent people being put at risk. That's our concern here. And that's why we are urging the general public to stay away.
We got enough time. Billy, we got enough time. Billy, we got enough time before the 30th. If we speak the same language, even our president, he will speak, who will let us stand up in front of him and he will ask, what do you guys want? We have enough time. This is PCCA nonsense. It's not going to work. If we come together and we let the president pay attention to us, if he know what we're saying, trust me, Kill, I don't have a problem with Kill. I like you guys. My problem is the president. They are in the mushkila.
I think the president can listen to you if you are doing this peacefully. But the fact that some other people have a violent intention, they want to remove the very same government violently.
That's when we come in. That's when we come in. Uprising the bottom when my better media.
All right, thank you, Isaac. Now let us hear from Bielakon. Comrade Bielakon, it is your turn now. Thank you for being patient.
First of all, I would like to give you thanks, Brother Billy Luke, for bringing this very important topic of discussion. I would like also to thank the panel in this discussion, as well as the viewers that are listening to us, and those who will go and listen as well. I think we all love South Sudan, and that's why a person like Billy Luke have given the time to host this topic through Jing Padang Media. Our role is to educate our people on what is good and what is bad. I've been critic to the recent call of peaceful uprising to topple this government. There's nothing peaceful when you call to topple the government. You call for a peaceful uprising when you call, when you demand something to be done to you. That is called peaceful. But when you interject either the removal of the government or to topple the government, that's not different than a coup d'etat that actually can throw out this government. And that's why a person like me, as a Bielakon, I can't support this idea of removing President Kiir government, or even this Artingo, which is the transitional government of national unity, through either you call it uprising or peaceful. President Kiir have signed a peace agreement with the partners, including the current first Vice President, Dr. Machar, as well as the other signatories that are in the government of South Sudan. And if you love your country, I think you should give them a chance to continue to implement the peace agreement. Recently, we have witnessed the sworn-in of the members of parliament, and I think what is left through the Khartoum Peace Agreement is the graduation of unified forces That is the next stage that people are going on. We know that we are all frustrated because it has taken so long for this peace agreement to be implemented. But what we are telling is that give them a chance, and you people of South Sudan will hold this government accountable when they come short of delivering the services. We know that there's a lot of things that went wrong in South Sudan. And if you are youth, if you are, whether you are former Red Army, that were actually, that the John Garang talked highly about, the future of that country. You should be patient enough to give this, what they call this generation, a chance to implement this peace agreement. And then when time comes later on, I think we'll all have a voice to vote this government out. Whether you are an SPLM, you can vote your senior comrade out from the position so that he will be the person to implement or to change, the system that you don't like in South Sudan. Even if they topple this government today, I don't think they will deliver the services that they are actually, asking in onset, mean in day one that they go, they talk about the government. We have a long way to go. And when you coordinate this, what you call peaceful with the armed rebellion, where everybody has a gun in South Sudan, it doesn't sound peaceful to anyone that knows it. And I know that it's not going to be peaceful, and therefore do not let the innocent kid go to the street while you are in your comfort in Western world here, in your living room, or you're in Tim Horton, or eating your McDonald's and sitting in a comfort, air condition, and while the suffering innocent people will go to the street, listening to the voice of those who are calling, to topple this government as a mean of making change. This is not the change. The change need a leader to lead them. A change, when Dr. Garang said fed up with the system in Khartoum, he did not call the people of South Sudan to go to the street and demonstrate about it. They took initiative, him and the founder of the SPLA, they took the initiative of rebelling against the system itself. And that's what is called a leader. A leader, you cannot sit behind your desk and say that the system is not right. The leader, you cannot sit, even the current rebel leaders that are running, the rebellion in Nairobi, they're running in Western world. This is not the way you run the rebellion. And as many of us that were part of the SPLA witnessed this, the contribution of these leaders, like those of Dr. John Garang and those of current President Salva Kiir, sleeping in the rainy, in the bushes of South Sudan. But who among those armed opposition now are actually sleeping in the rain in South Sudan? They are in Nairobi, either they are in the Western world where they are in their computer, trying to encourage innocent young generation to go to the streets so that they could, benefit from the sweat and blood. And what we are saying, what is peaceful in my understanding, is when you go to the poll and vote. When you go to the poll and vote that system out, vote that government out, and bring the government or the person that you will be interested or you will actually have a confidence to deliver the services, that one is called peaceful. So what is being planned as the 30th of this month, that let people of South Sudan go to the street. I also join people like Billy Luke and Brother Good here, that the only way we will be able to change this system or this government is through the ballot box. Let them give them a chance to implement this peace agreement so that the people of South Sudan will vote out. Even though we are fraud members of SPLM, but if our senior comrades are not doing enough to this party, we will also have a voice, especially the recent talk among the youngest, this what they call seed of the nation. It is time for you to talk about how you could be actually contribute to the system that you want to be changed. And therefore, I say that do not go to the street. I'm urging the people of South Sudan not to be blindly led into the street of Juba, Malakal, Wau, Kapota, Torit, and all others, around the state of South Sudan, so that that the government should be toppled peacefully. What you should be told is that the time is near when you'll go to the fall. Let the leader that you want to vote in pitch in the ideas about how they see this, they can govern the country that they love. None of these leaders that are talking today they were part of this system. They contribute to the mess that people of South Sudan are going through. Whether you are talking about Thomas Chirila, whether you are talking about Gerald Ford Malong, whether you are talking about Dr. Those who are actually all out groups, and continue to have a rebellion everywhere in South Sudan. It is because, and that's why I always disagree with the President Kiir policy. President Kiir is so, lenient enough to try to appease everybody in South Sudan. And that's why every time you pick up the gun, he will go after you and say, let us negotiate and bring you back to the government, reward you with the position. And this is not what we want with this generation. This is not how you lead the country. You lead the country through saying that if you did something bad, you'll be held accountable. If you kill people of South Sudan, you should respond. You should be held accountable of the life that you have taken. And this is what we envision that nation. So the Red Card movement and those who are calling for, the change in the government of South Sudan through a non-violent, that is acceptable because you have a democratic right to do that.
No,
what is not acceptable.
We don't have this, man. We tried the May 16, my brother. May 16, 2019.
What is not acceptable is when you coordinate like the new what they call People Action for Coalition Action, what they call it, PPC or PCCA. They are coordinating with the whole group. They are coordinating with the armed rebellion across South Sudan, and this alone is being considered as not acceptable in any country that has a constitutional. Therefore, it is up to us here, we the people that love that country. Let them talk through social media. We can also talk and also hire people that will be listening to us. If they are serious enough, let them go either to Juba or to anywhere in South Sudan and lead that demonstration themselves. People of South Sudan should not be blindfolded led into the street so that they can be massacred.
Billy, let me finish. You can go.
So thank you for those.
Let me answer a couple of things before this thing go in the wrong hand. Let me answer a couple of things.
And Pishogol, I just want to go. Just let me do this. Thank you, Abiel. You made a very excellent point. The problem now we have this uprising as no leader. They are hiding. So they're supposed to have a leader who can claim it. But if there's no claimer, that's actually is like the cat and mouse situation. In addition to that, also you said Abiel, that's very good too. We should understand we are a very confused society. Salva Kiir leadership, yes, has failed, but it doesn't mean that he will be there forever. He has agreed to peace. Young Machar agreed to peace, and people should follow the peace until the peace expire, and then election will take place. But if they want to grab it at the middle of nowhere, so will be like Libya, will be like Syria.
It will be a Libya situation.
Yes,
and that is the scenario we want to avoid.
Yes, so uprising, they are not different than the colonizer. You are a colonizer. You are supporting the imperialists to take over South Sudan. You want South Sudan to be like Afghanistan, so we will be running up to the plane. That's not going to happen. So we will stick with Salva Kiir Mayardit. Yes, Salva Kiir is not the best guy, but he is the right person this time. Until we will relinquish him through election in a peaceful manner, not through a violent means. The guy has been there for 21 years. He's a leader. He has endured so much pain. So I'm not really 100% support of him, but I acknowledge him. I acknowledge his contribution. I acknowledge Rangma's contribution. Everyone contributed. But people who want to take over uprising, like Abiel said, they're eating the McDonald's, the hamburger, they're the cool beer, and they're making noise sitting under the computer in the West, and they refuse to go to South Sudan and confront it. You cannot just make a change where you don't want to die. Go there and confront it. Go and be the leader in front of it. But another be look there in Sud Anach the edge of that book a dom book a 30 big diao moiki pity shay sokol can small and koika correct by. So with this and Bokoit and Abiel Nasi my brother. So we want change, but a change that
you're
make
racist.
will
You're
make sense.
racist right now. You are racist. This is what our youth talking about. When you speak a different language, when you know people that don't understand you, you are racist.
My bad. I apologize.
No, that's the truth.
I apologize. My bad.
Sorry for that. Sorry
another
for that,
thing, before I leave, let me answer my brother here. This uprising is not from me. It's not from any one of you guys. It will happen. Y'all like it. I like it. I don't like it. You like it. You don't like it. Your president like it. It will happen. Just like TV Joshua told you guys before. Leave your differences in the side. This is one thing all of you guys need to understand that, because tomorrow you're gonna remember me. My name is Isaac Coin McCain. You will remember me tomorrow. You will remember what I said. Leave your differences to the side. It's time for Isaiah 18:7 to happen. If you read your Bible, it's time for it. It's time for us Sudanese to go forward. I don't know which president you guys looking for. I don't know which president you think is going to come around to Sudan later. My people, the young people, they're already ready. They can run the country by themselves if they want to. But the respect of you guys, the older, this is why they don't want to do it. But honestly, come on, man. We live in the United States. I bring Kir, without no disrespect, Kir. I know you're listening to this right now. Without disrespect, if I bring my daughter 5 years old, all right, and put him with Kir in his office and give him a speech to speak to people, my daughter, she will win that case. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Comrade.
Yeah, God bless you, my people, man. Yeah,
we will continue to have the conversation.
God bless. God bless.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Pray and fast, and trust me, we will take that country back to God, and we'll be the best people ever. Leave your differences to the side. Leave your differences to the side, and this it will come to pass. Remember Isaac Kuni. Kir must go, Riek must go, and his nonsense behind him destroying our country must go. Thank you.
Thank you, and have a good night, Isaac. Welcome, Martot Benjamin. It's a pleasure to be here for the first time on Young Fada Media. So I think the topic is very clear and you understand it. I don't know whether you would want to be introduced with the topic.
No, thank you very much, Billy Luke, for inviting me. So it is good anyway to speak our mind here. It is not a problem. So when you need to express your own opinions here in the context of South Sudan crisis, it is not a criminals. It is not a crime. You see. Thank you very much for inviting us here, and Jernyang is here. I love the guy Jernyang coming here. It's good. And my brother Abel, thank you very much to see you. My name is Benjamin Matot. I've been here for more than 7 years in social media. I would have to be a governor of South Sudan in social media. So you are all new. So we've been talking about these issues. You see, brothers, the issue of our country, you are right. A good is there also, or a good left. What is a good?
He's listening, but I think he's left.
A good left, but he's watching.
Oh, he's watching. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. 1 hour
on the show.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much, Billy. Look, you have been concerned every day, night and day about the issue of South Sudan. I really appreciate for you that we are the people who came up with the change. We are here living in Western world, and today we are supporting a war while we are living here. So we are tired of war, our brothers who are here. We are tired of war. You see, the war has been going in a very long way in South Sudan. Many people dead, and that's why we rejected the opinion from our brother rebels. They are Sudanese, by the way. They are not rebel. the way they represented their objective is a bad way. But we are not ready for a war. What is the reason why people are fighting themselves? What is the reason? So we are the problem now. My observation, we are
Matot, check your mic. There is a stuttering noise coming in the background. Your noise is making. Yeah, today noise to our background. So we apologize for that inconvenience, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see whether he's going to come back. Banyabiel, you can still go ahead and make a summary. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen who just tuned in, the main purpose of this video is to come and rebuttal against those activists and those political surrogates on the social media on behalf of the so-called PCCA. And we have to call them out names because they have been running show for the last few days up to today. So Comrade Edward Ashik, those of John Kormayol, Deng Didayok, and other platforms that do activism on social media, they have been very vocal calling for the popular uprising, which is actually calling for the removal of the legitimate constitutional government, which is now undergoing the practical implementation of the revitalized peace agreement. We consider this violent because it is similar to that of the army resistance group. There's no difference over the strategy approach of this group and that of the rebel group. So they are doing the one particular agenda. And so we came to realize they are actually coordinating and facilitating their activities. And that is why it is very dangerous to the civil population of South Sudan to go to the street and demonstrate on behalf of these individuals who are not going to be on the ground to participate in this dangerous and violent popular uprising. We are against it, and we are supporting peace and stability to be maintained until the deadline when the general election will be conducted in South Sudan. This is what we are begging you as South Sudanese to be patient enough. Let's respect our peace partners. Let's support the national unity government to implement this peace agreement until when the deadline for conducting the general election will come. And that is when you will be able to make your decision as a citizen of South Sudan. Bear in mind as well, we are not against your constitutional and democratic right to exercise it in a peaceful way. But at this point, our country is in a very critical situation, critical scenario, whereby the national security is not in place. There is the insecurity all over the place. So this proposed protest can be employed by the armed group. And that is why we are urging our people all the way from Rang to Paloj, to Malakal, to Ruwing, to Abia, and to Bantu, and to Jonglei, to Akobo, to Nathar, to avoid this call for a popular uprising, for the sake of your safety. You know, the same thing applies to the region of Equatoria as well, because there is insecurity threat, given the fact that there are rebels lurking around in the Equatorian region. So all over the town, we are also urging you as a citizen of South Sudan to avoid these protests. The same thing applies to Bargadar region as well. There is the insecurity threat there. So we are urging you as well, stay away, stay in your home. Don't be part of this protest, as it is going to risk your life. Thank you very much. It will be up to you to make your choice wisely. Thank you very much. Show a book to you, any further.
Yes, very look. You know, this is the reason why people are talking about it, because those social activists, I mean, the other armed group that we actually been campaigning all these years, they try their best to topple this government through armed rebellion, supporting either SPLM, IO, NAS, and other armed rebellion in South Sudan, and they fail to achieve that goal. Now, the best option that they have is to is to encourage the people within these cities to stay to the street and actually topple this government through uprising. It is not going to be peaceful because anything connecting to removal of the entire government, this unity government of national unity, is not going to be peaceful because you're asking for the government to go. You are not demanding the services that you need. They are not going to the street to demand that our people are not being giving services across South Sudan. They are not going to the street asking for the government of South Sudan to pay our soldiers that continue to have every 2 or 3 months without pay. They are not going to the street to ask for a good road, good hospital, good drinking water. What they are going to the street is that this government must be toppled, and therefore the new system will come in. Yes, they have the democratic right to do that. But we do also have our democratic right to tell them, or to tell our people of South Sudan, that your safety is also important, and therefore you should not go to the street and listen to them, because they are not there. They're not going to be leading you when they go to the street. They're going to be watching you through other television, South Sudan television, or through other social media network, trying to encourage you to do something that is unlawful. It is unlawful to call for the government to be removable. What is lawful is that you call to remove the system through ballot box. That is a democratic right for every citizen to do. You can change the president of the country. We are not all happy, of course. None of us are happy with this government, how things turn out after our independence. We turn the gun among ourselves, and that's why we have this current peace agreement. But we are asking here, especially we are saying that enough of death in South Sudan. Let us give this government a chance to implement this peace agreement. Therefore, when the time comes for election, please, you will have a coalition that you need to topple this government. You will coordinate, and come up with the one candidate that you will support, to challenge the SPLM candidate, whether it's the President Kiir or anybody else, whether the SPLM IO chairman, Dr. Machar, or someone else. You will all have this chance to be given when you go to the vote. And this will be accepted through international law, that people of South Sudan democratically elected the people that they want. But today, we are calling for this uprising. It's not going to be peaceful. Let us not lie to ourselves. It's not peaceful because they are calling for the removal of the government. What was peaceful is what the people of Poloj have done, a few months ago, when they stayed the street asking for the services to be delivered to them. That was what was peaceful. What was peaceful for anybody to go to the street to demand that let me be paid. That could be accepted as peaceful. Therefore, Billy, look, it's good that let us continue to talk out. And also, I think what I want to add. I've been following most of these social activists in the media, and I come to realize that it's now, I think, is the fight of ideologies where South Sudan will head to. So my fellow Red Army and the seed of the nation, I think you are listening. You should listen. Be careful, because people that are talking today, they were not part of this. They did not either join the SPLM. They did not. They were comfortably going to the school in Khartoum, in neighboring countries, while many of us here that were actually went to Ethiopia, that were trained, that were being groomed as leader of tomorrow. I think this is what I see as a fight of ideologies. Now we have people that the Khartoum ideologies and those actually raised by the SPLA to lead this nation. So I'm appealing to all the Red Army and also the seat of the nation, wherever you are, that I think it's a time for us to come together and save this nation, not through armed rebellion, not through peace, what they call uprising, but through a critical change that we need to be done in South Sudan. So, Billy Luke, thank you very much for hosting this show, and I appreciate for giving me the time and the other panelists that were here to voice the concern. I hope our people have listened, and please, in a respective area of Padang, when it comes to the 30th of August, just go about your business. Don't go to the street thinking that you're going to be asking for this government, to go or to be peacefully removed. It's not going to be peaceful. Your safety is what our concern, and that's why we're here in the media and that is also across South Sudan as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chairman Bielkon, for the wonderful summary of the topic. That is the main message that we just want to extend to our fellow citizens of South Sudan to avoid this so-called popular rising, which is actually calling for the removal of the government of South Sudan. We consider that unconstitutional, it is unlawful, and at the same time, we consider this as a threat to the revitalized peace agreement, which is now undergoing implementation. Therefore, it is a violation of the peace agreement itself, and we don't want that to happen. This is going to cause a chaotic situation, which will actually put our country at a very risky scenario, which is going to be more consequential than the current situation which we are in. That is why we want to prevent what we look at strategically as very dangerous to our future country and the life of our citizens as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can do your own analysis strategically. This is very dangerous. We can perceive the scenario of the Libya kind-like situation. As we all know, some of you have seen what happened in Libya. If they succeed to do that or to bring about that confusion, there is a possibility the country is going to fragment it or miniaturize into so many warlord groups, which will actually fight over the leadership, because nobody is going to give the other a chance to take over the presidency. So you don't look at this. And this is a challenge. This is the very question that is not being answered by these activists and the political surrogate of the army resistance group on the ground in South Sudan. You are actually putting our country at a very risky scenario that you do not see. Because when you try to plan something, you have to look at it strategically, do your analysis critically, and make sure you come up with a comprehensive strategy that is going to help our people in the future. So we want to avoid that scenario. That's why we understand we are not against the demand that you put down on those papers that you circulate on the social media. That's not what we are against it. We are simply against the protest, because the protest is very risky. Not only is it against the peace, not only is it against the constitution, it makes the situation even more worse than the current situation in which we are in. So I think you can do your own analysis. This is a very complex situation, but some of you fail to see that. You don't foresee what is likely to happen in case this is going to happen. But according to what I know so far, I'm very confident this is going to be a failed protest. It is not going to work. I will not even see a single people coming out on the street big band Louis protest. So yeah, I'm confident this is not going to be successful, and I'm very very confident about it. Finally, Banyabiel, as you have watched the show of Edward today, and I was watching, he made it very clear that he's actually calling out the people in Malakal, people in the IDPs, particular, that area ke hot spot, because the tow quite thin quite get pen ki ran ki do the chick elwe to kenen yo ken lewe ko ko pi Malakal one of the hot spot kujila yen man town tenere, because they one of the two major cities unte ke key population de go ke lu concentrate ku ka taw ka tin ko un ke lu ke support so we ko kwanta de tui ko le we ga yin domro ko Iran ko bilo chana abi ukumo bi ke de tinga beloy ku at the same time ke ko unte de chara kie rebel ko ke to on ku ka tyo ki tere chi ke ku dama den bi ke military offensive den be gen loy launch achira an ngi it is something coordinate aka will de ki ku le so we e kene ka yo ke clear ku ke ngek na brande ja join anin jala lo chana mele miak ku ni chuk join ka bi ja ku du che ko bok be wi go ki ye jing pada kwa kenen ke lim ku we baga backup angiku hukuma da ade ka won ka wo ka ci ka pya do fio lakin go le yena toy ku do lu ku support until be de la inte bagla chwe ko we mo to nin we ka ba ku dun yo la determine in the future of South Sudan e banyon ba kwan e ran yindi e kirmi yadi e rieg mi cha e nyandeng e ran chirwani yiga e ran chide nen Abdel Bagli kai won ke talk ke by president kai won ke part of the ke peace partner man tin ke signatory to the peace agreement wala ran bro yom ni alam ya ke candidate abajala chwet in ke ko bogen support ka e peace kene ku chira lu implement le miya kala ko be to go mar ko junubin ku jogo we kai ko no wa ne peace partner o ki do chakran o ki ja by the promises of the peace so we ja ko be won yin ke dang jidi da bi jo be golcho e kenene yo ku lu bye finally ka banen gucho ran wana ro chol chairman tare da mi fi Junub Sudan South Sudan ka yoga de statement jitawa o ten ku ye na chiro lo ling ge gurum chol PPCA kwene ke chen card jupo ku ye na chira da mi ki consider nu ye is no longer a chi ba chairman de baden ke yen tawo ya ke because nu red army ke de tok jam ge ye nu ran ken a chi wi ya banden e ka chi keriyo institution red army to kene message and we bring yogle wait lakin ke support the book thousand ke part of the condemnation but a book do be low the chok by your time ye na chi lwel won a chi gad letter won ko le ye na bi lu arrive juba ko la tar manie a ja ku ke le bi lu press conference bi juba ku yen ke wi ku ke ye na controversial statement ben low fi Lagos State media wa ekene a book do betting you are going to wait the situation fa ngi ku ye na de link ke banga ka de lo ye kene wa kene ngi ko jikrang so yen kana buk jobe tieng twen in banya biel na chuk ba yo fursa mi ya tay ko pet kale jo ku cho buk tiyo de ke binen gu ka bu cho o cha kale jo fai dai
ka ba matin da ba ne kene quite tough kem quite tough POC across South Sudan. They are being protected by the United Nations forces, and if they attempt to come out to demonstrate against the government of South Sudan, then that will be the responsibility of the United Nations forces keepers that are protecting these people, because you will not let people come out to come and topple the government, the recognized government. In Kenataban, and a Gitoga, quite of Malakal, came Muslim, the UN. The UN actually can actually golfing. Now, like Ben Bigaban, don't say Dakan Malakal. Kabija Muslim, the UN, Kibaban Yutoban, Achibia Muslim, the Rakum region of Sudan. I think the government of South Sudan has to make that very clear. The United Nations peacekeepers forces that are protecting this POC are responsible for the entering, because this is the actual under the protection. So if they attempted to come out and demonstrate across South Sudan, and if anything happened to them, then the UN will take responsibility. The UNIMIS will take responsibility. And we know very well that most of these people in the camp, they are supporters of the armed rebellion, and they want this government to be toppled, whether by any means. Therefore, if they get a chance to come out, of course they will be able to do that, because they have most of them, they are actually either supporting Australian IO or Guelec forces, wherever they are. The government is watching them. And I do understand that even to come out, they have to be given a green light, because there's the forces the government of South Sudan have posted that between the POC and the city, especially in Malakal and across anywhere but it's there, whether in Bentiu or in Juba, and I believe they will not come out on the 30th because the United Nations will not allow them to come out unless if they demonstrate within that compound or within the POC, that will be up to them. And can cover Martin Kaikwa Daiki, Kaikwa Padang of Malakal, Kaikwa of the long number the rang, wait Taban, Ayo Kumaton Yalkan. And Nico Adekachi Kadak, Kakingam, Shabda Junu Sudan, Jaka Shabda Padang with that. But as you could be a war at Ethiopia, make we would hack back the war, about by then, the local of election. But then, man, Kumaton Yalkan. And the quite jam big war, a chick of a water tongue. Because quite jam like fish or a curry, a chick market the quite card cake. And then them, and I want to jam, one call, a year, a cake. You know, time by them along the active. We can quite a Thomas Chirilla, Quachiri Pagana Moon. Anybody that is whole out groups is trying that today I think I saw it, whether it's today or yesterday, the show around Junko Moyol, that the grand coalition with who? They are colliding with this, they are coordinating. They are coordinating with this.
It's a big umbrella. They have formed a big alliance.
Thank you. Monday night, but it's good that we talk about it. I was following up with you guys. Lagos State, Jaman Kenjam. The question one are you supporting the PCCA? If you are not supporting it, you have to condemn it. You have to condemn it as the chairman of Red Army. But if you fail to condemn it, that means you are supporting it. It's good that Denable is going to Juba and he will answerable will follow him what they will say in that press conference. Nara anti-bind to lose while ran Tiger and Bakum Domyal Bijat. Yes, the Kichama Rugi and Denable. SPLM neglected the Red Army for so long. I agree with that point because there are so many of us that went to Juba, try to go to that secretariat, and none of them actually listened to us. Whether you are Red Army and you went to Juba, none of us has been listened to. In Wokjam SPLM, actually number the work. But look at you want to Cuba, with one thing like Cuba. What was man? I don't know Cuba. You don't have to look. SPLM should be responsible because they let a Cuba one. Should be responsible to
that demand illegitimate, but then it is political. A condition, we know what is.
Let us keep following the issues.
They show them there is a show coming up now. Manuel, one of the Red Army too. It's going to host it. I guess they are going to address something there.
Okay.
We will see. So
yeah,
in challenge by the bill, what you can lay
okay, good night.
Good night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the program finally come to an end. It was a pleasure and honor to be here watching the program. We highly appreciate your presence, and we are looking forward to see more development tomorrow. We will continue to talk on this issue because we want to make sure this proposed protest is actually being avoided by any means, with the exception of people who would want to read their own life or whatever powerful they believe in. But we are going to use the media advocacy to try the label best we can to urge our people to abstain from it, absolutely abstain from it, because this is actually a coordinated and facilitated protest that is involved with the armed wing. We know so far the rebels are actually standing by to launch military offensive, and that is why it is very, very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. And the fact that the protesters are going to call for the step down of the whole leadership, it is something unrealistic, and itself is going to implicate these protesters as not only violent, but they are actually violating the constitution and the sovereignty of the state. If you remove a government violently, that is a threat to the life of the civilian themselves. All right? So I don't want to waste time explaining this, but we are simply appealing to you. Otherwise, Brother Abdallah Greng, I read your comment. Your comment is legitimate. I don't dispute it. We understand our people are frustrated. Something is not right. We all agree on that. But what we are begging you as fellow citizens is to abstain from this violent protest, because you are going to make the situation even more worse than you think. That's what you fail to answer as an activist and political surrogate of this army resistance group on the ground. So we will continue to dialogue. So you do your own media, we will also respond. So this is going to be a back and forth communication, because we want to target the very same people too you are targeting. So we will also communicate our message. The bad thing is you don't want to give us the opportunity so we can be on one particular channel, then we have to go one-on-one. This is where we can be able to reach a common consensus as the citizens of South Sudan. Unfortunately, some of your platform do not allow us. You have seen what I just did today. This platform is available to anyone. It doesn't matter to me whether you disagree or you don't disagree. It doesn't bother me. As long as you come and defend your position, I defend mine. That is where we can be able to find a common ground, you know. So thank you very much. We will see you next time. Have a good night. Yen mbriel loy there. Yen we check a jo ka dai. Hope you very yo. Thank you.